Hello, welcome to the week. I'm Melissa and I write books. Welcome to the video. I'm revising a book. Did I cover everything? Did you get that? Did you get it? Lock it in. Okay, so this is gonna be a long one. I don't know how long. Essentially, instead of doing 3 15-minute vlogs during the week, I'm going big, baby. We're gonna do one vlog that is however long this video is for the entire week of writing. Just kind of to see what the vibes are and maybe give me a little bit of a break from video editing. What I am going to accomplish this week, we said with a lot of confidence and boldness that I do not think is warranted. I'm trying to finish up my giant timeline whiteboard situation and then also make a list of every revision from that, everything that I'm physically going to put into the book, and then what chapter it goes in, and then I'm going to start doing that. But I think that that might take me the week, but maybe not. I'm also training for a triathlon that is coming up in like 3 weeks, so there might be some sport content. Sport Alyssa is here and apparently had a lot of caffeine. And something I typically like to do on Mondays is like finish the cleaning from the weekend, because I'm always like, ooh, Sunday, I'll clean everything on Sunday, and then I never do. And there's always like a messy kitchen and my laundry's half done, everything's everywhere. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a reset. And then tonight I'm gonna go on a run and I'm gonna go on a swim. So that's kind of the evening, but maybe I can squeeze in a little 15 minutes of writing. The main time that I get my writing done is in early morning live sprints, which you may have attended this week, but they're also gonna be happening this week too. The book I'm writing is a thriller. It also is sort of a romance, a rom-com thriller, as I'm dubbing it, which is not a genre, but I want it to be, and maybe one day. So that's gonna be what we are up to. First order of business is to clean this house. So let's do it.
Hi everyone, voiceover Alyssa is here. For the first of many times during this video, I just did an initial cut of this video and I feel like I have some things to say. So if you're someone who typically skips over montages, which is totally fine, it does break my heart, but totally fine, I would stay. I have some thoughts and things to say if that is foreshadowing some major things happen in this video.
Hi, it is 6:40 p.m. What have I been doing? What a great question. I've been watching SWAT, the TV show. It's a fictional show. It's not like actual SWAT people. It has Shamar Moore in it, who is in Criminal Minds, Derek Morgan from Criminal Minds. I think it is not on anymore. I'm actually gonna look this up. Oh, there are more seasons. Apparently only 3 of them are on Hulu. Because if I've talked briefly about this in my book, but she's a hostage negotiator, my main character, and so she technically would be in like a SWAT team. And so I've been trying to do more research about like, how does that structure out? Like, are detectives also SWAT? Is SWAT its own thing? Can you be trained to be SWAT? Like, what's the progression like? And I've also been like looking on Reddit and Quora, which is so funny. It's not a legitimate source, but it's the most fun source, because I type in like, do people in SWAT also investigate crimes? And then it's like all these stories about people who were in SWAT, and then this random guy talking about his whole newborn baby and his whole life and how truly I fell down a lot of rabbit holes. But I've been watching that show to kind of just immerse myself in hostage situations, which sounds so bad. But I was realizing the big piece of the puzzle that I'm missing right now, which is funny because these are also the scenes in crime shows that I skip, is the stuff in the middle where they're like, Johnny was at the airport and we tracked him down and this piece of evidence leads to this, like the parts where they're like talking about the logistics of the crime, I just skip. I'm like, get me to a hug or a reunion or a hostage scene, get me to something exciting. And I skip them, and I also skip them in my own writing often, or I just don't go as deep as I should. So I've been watching that this evening to kind of just like get the vibes, get the SWAT vibes. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I've also been for the last hour trying to work myself up to go on a run because I need to. But it is 80 degrees out and I do not want to do it, but I need to. And then it's like, because it's so warm, then I want to wear like shorts, but then the shorts I'm wearing are very short, and then I'm worried about all the lookers. But also it's so hot, like, and running while it's hot is horrible, just generally. I'm also running into kind of a content drought. Like in terms of things that I listen to on a run or on a bike, like I'm in between audiobooks and nothing sounds good. I've caught up on all my podcasts. I've listened to a lot of my music recently, so there's nothing that's really like, ooh, I want to listen to that, which is stressful. Well, it's not even stressful. It just like makes it even harder to go on a run. Because if I'm in the middle of a great audiobook, I'm like, ooh, I'll go on 18 runs. This is a lie. They mostly turn into walks. That is what is happening. I'll show you my running fit. So I actually go. I'll let you know how that goes. I'm meeting with my beta reader tonight at like 8. So I have to go now. So I have time to do it later. This is not a good attitude to start a run and during with. I need to like find something to pump me up. Maybe a musical or something. If you run, comment down below and let me know what music you run to. Okay, I'll go. Hey queen. So we can call that a run. We can call it a run. I went 2.69 miles. I ran for 0.8 miles. So almost a mile. And then I walked the rest of the way. But I got out there. The problem is I do need to be able to run 2.1 or 2.9, something like that miles after swimming and biking in like 3 weeks. So, do you see the panic in my eyes? Anyway, I have about 10 minutes before I'm meeting with my beta reader. So, gonna put some sweatpants on. You didn't care. You didn't care. Hey.
Just wanted to take this montage to shout out my lovely beta reader, Sylvia. She's on YouTube, Sylvia with a Plan. Check her out if you like planning content. It's been so nice to read somebody else's work and also get genuine feedback. So if that's something that you can find around you, super, super helpful. Helps you feel less like a crazy person anyway.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You're the only exception. Hi. Did you think you were getting my musical debut? Hello, good afternoon. I don't know what kind of energy this is that I'm bringing. I'm currently updating you about nothing. I hope you're excited. I was trying to get footage at the stream this morning, but my camera was just really having an emotional crisis, which is fine. I have put her through the ringer. But I ordered another whiteboard that is the size of the one that's on my wall, because I think I'm only gonna be able to get through the first half of the book on this one, and I really do want to go into deep detail. The problem is that's not coming until Saturday, so I won't exactly be able to finish the timeline. But what I'm thinking of doing is like, I can do what I'm doing here like on a notebook. Like it's not as ideal, but I can. But I think in the meantime, I'm gonna get as far as I can on this whiteboard, and then I'm gonna go through, and there's like a list of probably 25 changes or revisions that I can make that are like quick fixes, like somebody's last name consistency or how old people are, things like that, that I can go in and fix without having to fix any plot things. So I might just go through and like crank through a bunch of those, which will actually be really good for my dopamine as well, to like feel like I'm getting somewhere. So doing that, and then I can keep going, but you know, you just never know how long it's gonna take. It's kind of where we are. It's about 4 o'clock. And I have a lot of like video contract work. Ooh, I have to send that email. And an email I need to send. That I have this evening. Well, it's actually not. There's one thing I have to go shoot this evening, but it's just a lot of editing that I'm like, I'm not behind on it, but I should probably be done with it by now. So I'm gonna try to kind of crank through a lot of this video editing tonight and maybe just like finish all of that so that I can just, it's like off of my plate, because I just have been getting a little overwhelmed with everything, but it's fine. So I'm gonna do that. And then I have a shoot briefly at 5. And then I am going to the lap swim at 7. But I'm gonna bike there, and I'm actually gonna do a long bike, or like a 45-minute bike after the pool to kind of practice that swim to bike jump. And so that will take me to like 8:30, which is when I go to bed. So like really I only have 3, that is not very much time. Like 3 hours, because I would leave for the pool around like 6:30. We'll see how long this little shoot that I have takes. And then if I can get all my stuff edited before then I might have like 30-45 minutes to do some more editing. But I am starting to really feel the pressure, because I would like to stay on track with everything and keep pushing forward with the revision and not let revision take so long. It's always, okay, I don't want to be misinterpreted. It's always going to take a long time, but I was watching through my videos, this is shameless plug, I guess, from Camp April of last year. So not this last April, the April before, which is where I was doing, I would say, this sort of editing for Groove, or the wedding season, which I'm querying right now. And I took like longer than I needed to on each stage. And I'll give that version of Alyssa grace, because she was just getting into regularly writing again, and her job was a lot. There was just a lot going on. But this Alyssa needs to hashtag get it in gear in a gentle way that is not conducive to burnout. But I really do know that I'm capable of amping up the speed. Things are about to get busy with work again, because it's the start of the school year and this triathlon is coming up. And so I just want to like do all my things. You guys know how I get about doing all my things. But I also like kind of feel like I want to get sucked into the story again. I'm always in the story, but usually once in a while I get like nothing else around me is happening except for the book, which I know this is actually probably not a good time for that to happen, because I have other things that I should be focusing on. But a good example of this is the last time when I finished draft 2, when I wrote like 30,000 words in a week, crazy woman behavior. And I really did love that week. That was so fun. Like I was just writing all the time, and I was so in it, and I was so loving it. But not everything's gonna be like that, allegedly. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get through as much of this video contract stuff today, so that tomorrow I can just do it. Nike, I'm waiting for your call. Hi everyone, welcome back to my car. Just spent another $145 on sneakers. But to be fair, I was watching a vlog from like over a year ago, and I was talking about how my tennis shoes were getting old, and they were the tennis shoes I still had. And I was like, and I had my triathlon coming up, so I was like, well, I should probably buy the shoes earlier so I can train in them. Had a lovely experience, lovely saleswoman. She was killing it. I think the shoes have a little bit less support, but you do not care about that, do you? You don't, do you? But I still think it'll be nice for the bike, because then it won't be so aggressive, you know? I don't know. We'll try them out today, see how they go. But they're like boring colors, or like it's black or like cream and white. I'm like, I'm running through dirt. Can I get a dark color, a fun color? Like, give me a purple, give me a pink. What are we doing, America? Why is everything beige? Anyway, off to swim and bike. I will write eventually in this video. Have I not even written in this video? You guys, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. All right, shoe unboxing. I got the Hoka comparison, these are my old shoes. Look how jank. Hey, Query Vlog.
Voiceover Alyssa here to catch you up. So you did just hear her say hi to a querying vlog, which is a video that, as the time of posting, has not been posted because it is documenting my entire querying journey, starting with this book that I'm currently querying called The Wedding Season, which is an adult thriller. So I was originally not planning to keep this in this main video because I don't typically include the querying clips in the main vlogs for the week. But this actually really ended up impacting a lot of things. So I thought I would include it. I am just going to warn you, she is going to cry. And listen, feel your emotions. I'm always going to support that. But if you don't like watching people cry on camera, sorry, people cry, get over it. But also I get it. I also don't like watching that, but it's not just going to be negative. So I just also want to say that it's very raw. So here's me crying, I guess. Well, I guess you probably know by now, but it is going to be a rejection. So brace yourselves.
Okay. I just did my, I think probably my longest training session. I swam the full distance and then biked 5 miles or something. And I have a query reply from the agent who has my full. And I've been really hyping this up in my head for a long time. But this is the agent I met at the conference. I've talked to her. I've been waiting for this email for 70 days. And I'm gonna throw up. Okay, so it's a no. She does have some edits. Mostly line edits. Which is just really frustrating because, I know I can fix that. I actually think I was gonna cry. This is so dramatic. Everybody, while I truly enjoyed what I read, it makes it seem like she didn't finish it, which is fine. And the flow of your writing, unfortunately, this needs more line edits. So specific things to note are comma splices, too many ly adverbs, too many duplicate tags. Does that mean said? Sorry. I just feel line edits feel so much more fixable than it makes me feel like I was really close and then I just wasn't. Also, double punctuation. I have never double punctuated anything ever in my life. Am I supposed to put that in? Wait, okay, somebody comment down below because he asked / she asked following dialogue is always lowercase. Are you saying that that's wrong? Is that wrong? Also, that is so, I'm being petty right now, but that is so tiny. I could fix that in 5 seconds. This is raw, hello. I don't even know what I'm gonna do now. Because, wow, well, welcome to the crying clip, I guess. Hi everyone, it's me, Alyssa. I have now showered and recollected myself, called my friend Allie who talked me off the ledge, and then we both complained about how comma splices are dumb, and then I Command F, searched my document for adverbs, and there were a lot of them. So, but I don't actually know if I care, but I do, and I will later. Anyway, I ordered myself some insomnia cookies, so those are being delivered. I'm staying up much later than I typically do. It's 10, and I'm usually asleep by 8:30 because I am 107. But I'm kind of leaning into it. I don't stream tomorrow. I kind of had it in my mind that if this was a no, I was gonna kind of take it as a landmark in this querying of this book, and kind of moving on to part 2 of querying this book, because I think I'm gonna make some changes to my query letter based on the critique I got, and also maybe remove 87 adverbs from the book. So that's where I'm at. I am still, of course, disappointed, but you know, it'll work out. Whoever I'm supposed to be with. I'll see you soon. Okay, I promise, I promise nothing ever, but there will maybe be some writing in this video. The fact that it is Wednesday. Okay, listen, I did write yesterday morning and Monday morning. I just didn't film it, which is silly because I'm recording a writing vlog. I am now a little bit torn because I would like to, there's a few things, like honestly, this is what I'm a little frustrated about, is like everything that the agent said about why they didn't want to offer. I'm sure that there were also many reasons. Anyway, were like things that I can fix with the Command F. Did everyone know? This is just a hot tip for your day. With dialogue tags, if it's a question and it's like he asked or she asked, it's supposed to be capital. He or she is supposed to be capitalized, but apparently I thought that that was not the case. Like I thought it was lowercase because it's lowercase with a comma. Like this is the level of comments that I got on that request on that rejection was like things that I feel I could have fixed in an hour, but I'm trying not to be upset about it because if the agent had really connected with my work and really thought she could champion it, then she might have overlooked those things, and that's okay. So it wasn't the right fit. I am upset about it, but it's fine. I think I would like to spend an afternoon fixing some of the things that she mentioned. Apparently I also used too many adverbs. I'm also not of the opinion that you can't use adverbs, and like that's like a writing stylistic choice. And so I just would not have gelled with this agent in the way for this book at this time. So it's fine. I'm just gonna kind of look at, the moral of the story is I might spend some time this week just doing a quick little copy edit again of The Wedding Season, which would be crazy, but I might do it. There's also some things that my beta reader has been mentioning about The Wedding Season that I might want to implement just in case I get another full. I need to rework my query letter. I don't know if I need to, and I don't know how big of a change it's gonna be, but that's also something I kind of want to carve out some time for this week. But I like really need to do this revision. Like I just need to do this revision. And I'm just a little stressed because I don't know if I have time to do everything. And I feel myself avoiding the revision for some reason. And I keep coming up with all these excuses as to why I'm avoiding it, which is not a very good sign. I say that. I really have just been like also really hitting the triathlon training really hard this week. So that's part of it too. So it just, there's a lot. That's just kind of your update for this morning. I have to go to work, but I don't have anything this evening. I think I'm gonna like on my lunch break or when files are exporting or sometime while I'm at work, kind of prioritize and figure out if I'm gonna sit down and do query stuff. Like I'm gonna pick a time and I'm gonna do it, but I just have a hard time weighing priorities because it's like, I just laid out all of this whole timeline of where I would like to be with writing. Like I need to finish this revision in August so that I can outline my book in September and October. Like I just did all that. And so I know that that's important, but also if I don't fix any of my query stuff, then that will just sit there indefinitely. And I'm like, I want that to keep moving. And so I just am struggling with prioritizing. I'm also just like, maybe I should give it a few days before I decide to make a bunch of changes to my manuscript. Although like, apparently I don't know how to comma splice, or like I'm splicing, I don't know. Something with commas is wrong. So I hate commas so much, you guys, and I always have and I always will. Maybe that's a negative mindset, but and it kind of makes me feel stupid too, because it's like, oh, your book was great, you just don't know how to use a comma. And for that reason, you don't get to have a career. Sorry, okay, I'm being petty. That's not what that means. And I do not have any ill will towards this agent. I'm just more frustrated with myself that I didn't catch that. And also, okay, this is the other thing. I was talking to my friend about this. The agent mentioned like she's super picky and she's only taking things that are submission ready. And I'm like, yes, cool. Aren't those things, like almost everything on this list that she gave me was like something I would imagine like a copy, like an editor would do, not an agent. Regardless, it was not the right fit, it's fine. I just am a little like, I've always heard that your book does not need to be perfect and flawless to get an agent, but I'm starting to think that that is just something people say because clearly she even said, she's like, your writing flows well. I liked the book. I just don't have time to edit it. I don't even know if she finished the book. And she might have just been saying that to be nice. So there's some discouragement for the day. I don't know. Just thought I would update you because that's kind of where I'm at emotionally too. And so then it's hard to like jump back into this other book that I'm already like afraid is that one's gonna flop too. Like I just am really getting in my head. So I'll see you later. Bye. Hello. I guess I really am just gonna talk a lot about this rejection in this video, which is not what I had planned to do. I planned to save it all for the querying vlog. But that's okay. You probably won't see that for years, so. No, maybe sooner, probably not. But I just think, especially that rejection really hit me very hard because this might not be true for the agent, but what it feels like for me, which again is likely not the reality, is that you can do so many things right, but essentially, like at the end of the day, it's gonna be the things that you do wrong that stop you from getting there or delay you from getting there, and honestly, there were probably other things she didn't like about the book that she didn't mention. And that's really fine. This is not about this agent, truly. It's more just about if what she's saying is true or if what she's saying is that the only things that were stopping her from offering were line level stuff, that means that there were so many things that I did right and it didn't matter, which is really toxic because I try to believe that like each book has its own integrity just like within itself. Like it doesn't, like a book does not require a publishing deal to be good on its own and to like have like importance for me. But I just am really getting to this point where like, I know that this is not true, but it kind of feels like, well, I'm never gonna be able to do everything right. So it's probably not gonna happen ever, which is not true. But like, am I ever really gonna be able to be good enough? You know? It feels like I'm approaching this difficult part where I need to put everything together and I need to like do the hard work of the book right now and like write the hard scenes and like do the mental work. And it just feels like, what if I'm just doing all of this for some typo that I miss in my line edits to not like the book get published, which is a logical fallacy. Like that's not helpful, but that's kind of, I'm self-analyzing and I think that that's where this hesitation is coming from because like I have really been avoiding doing it. And this whole day I've been like, tonight I'm gonna like hunker down for 3 hours and just finish the board, make all this progress and do all these things. And I still plan to do that. But then it got to the time when I had to like actually do it. Like it got to the time that I was thinking in my head, like I'm gonna do this. And then I just like do not wanna do it. It seems hard. It seems, I don't know if the word is fraught. I don't know. It seems like pointless, even though it's like the most important work I'll do on this book. But then I just keep spiraling. I should be doing other things. Like I should be getting better at my craft so that I don't make all these dumb typo mistakes. Like I should be getting better at my story structure and like stronger in my copy edits and my line edits and like reading more and learning more and doing more and writing short stories because that helps with certain things and working on my dialogue and trying to figure out how to stop using adverbs apparently. Like I'm like, well, there's all these other things I need to do to be good enough that it seems like a waste of time to work on this book that will probably, no, that's really bad. Just think that will do well, whatever. Like, especially if the wedding season isn't gonna work, which I'm not saying that that's the case. I got one rejection. I get rejections every week. Like it's not, I'm not saying that this one agent's rejection means that it's gonna be a no. But if it is gonna be a no, for now, then it's even more important that I write the next book and that I do it well. And I'm only gonna get better by doing it. Fine. I'm gonna get to work.
It's voiceover Alyssa back. I just wanted to interject here with some positivity because it's been a little dark. Did I think that there would come a day where I would cry over commas and adverbs? Absolutely, yes. I always have known that was coming. But I think what I really just want to put into context for you is that I think it's important to feel this part of publishing and writing, because there is this necessity in this industry to separate the book from the packaging of the book and the marketing of the book and the representation of the book. And I think what Alyssa here is kind of losing sight of in face of Rejection is that the book on its own is good, is strong, does have merit. It's struggling to find the right packaging and the right person to represent it. Maybe I'm not good enough yet, but that doesn't mean that I will never get better. In fact, there's 100% possibility that I'm going to get better and that you're going to get better. And so these moments of self-doubt are as important to the process as the moments of victory. And the time you spend now is as important and as valid as the time you spent agented or published. So there you go. Some positivity.
I'm gonna see how much I can clean while the water boils. Also, I got all this food from this event that I did where we were hosting people from South Korea. And so there's all these South Korean ramen kind of things. So I'm having one of those because I have no food in my house. I also just wrote for 45 minutes straight. And I literally, you can tell in the footage I just filmed, I just stared for most of it. I know I'm doing the right thing because every time I think of put the next plot line, I'm and then I put it from each person's perspective. There's at least 7 times where I'm well, why would she do that instead of that? And wouldn't it just make more sense for them to do this? And wouldn't it be easier for her to do this? And then I just have to combat all of those questions every single time, which is fine. It's just a lot of thinking and staring at nothing, but now I'm wasting my time. I gotta go. I gotta clean something. It's so bad. I can't even show you. It's just before my sprint on Thursday. This board is a time-sucking vortex. It's just such a mind F. And I'm just not there mentally right now. Which is a problem. I need to do it still, obviously. And will need to do it. But I'm just kind of feeling I can't even form a sentence. I should not be plot storming, I'm gonna do some other things this morning, but I don't want to get to a point where I'm just doing admin things during my stream. So I am going to honestly set up draft 3 in Scrivener and start checking off my there's a lot of things that are just forgot a random her age is different, That's my plan. I really can't form a sentence. I'm about to go live. Oh, okay.
Sorry everyone.
I don't know, you guys, this week generally has been so weird. I don't know what's going on, truly. I've just felt so weird energy-wise and motivation-wise, and so no answers, but I have made, I would consider a mental breakthrough, allegedly. Let me close this door. Don't get me wrong, I'm still working on the timeline, like I'm not done with that. But today, this morning during my stream, and also I went to Barnes & Noble with one of my writer friends, and I got through my whole 1 second revision list. So I categorized the main revisions I had to do into 1 second, paragraph, scene level, and then like plot level. Essentially like small changes, medium changes, big changes, you know, or not even big changes, just like more thinking. I got through my whole list of little changes, which felt really good to get through that. It's obviously like a very small portion of the book, but it was like little scenes. It was very like, I replaced a middle name and a last name, and there was 2 people's ages that I needed to get right. And then I ended up spending a lot of time researching just a lot of random things, actually. Like a couple of things that I looked up were like, can anybody be checked into a mental hospital, like a psychiatric hospital? And then I was looking up like all the different types of psychiatric hospitals. I think my computer is concerned about me, but I'm fine. And so it was just about like the different levels of psychiatric hospitals, and like what does it look like to get admitted to a psychiatric hospital, and like how do you get discharged for, like how, like what does all of that look like? Can you get phone calls? Like all the logistics of that. If you're wondering, the answer is it depends on like why you're admitted. And also there's all these different types of programs that have different lengths and different requirements, and some of them are state funded and some of them are private funded. Really, it opened a can of worms. Like this one little change, all I really needed to do was double check that what I had written like actually could happen in the world, you know? Because that kind of thing especially I want to be correct about, because I don't want to give people a wrong impression about something like that, because that could cause a lot of harm, and I really want to make sure I'm doing that well. And then I fell down this rabbit hole. Well, I fell down a lot of Quora rabbit holes, let me tell you. Quora is a disturbing place. You learn a lot of, because it's so interesting. You learn like all the things that these facilities say and that the websites say, and then you go to Quora and people are like, it was horrible, you know, just like a lot of different perspectives, which I thought was interesting. And then I ended up watching I found this woman on YouTube who, it really is not super relevant because her account is living well with schizophrenia, and nobody in my book has schizophrenia, but she has this whole series of videos that's really interesting where she like recorded herself having a psychotic break. Like while she was in the middle of a psychotic break, she's like very well spoken and very like good at interpreting what's happening. And that's the first video. The second video, she's like in a psychiatric hospital and kind of talking about what that looks like. She's in a different country than the US, so like you can have phones and stuff. And it was just really interesting. And then she had one that was like afterwards explaining everything that had happened. And it was just so interesting to hear about like the process of that, which, because this is not a huge part of this book. It's like a part, it's there, but it's not like the main plot of the book. But that's I feel like I am representing it in a better way now, without having to like try to find someone who's been in a psychiatric hospital, because like I don't want to make somebody relive that kind of experience just for my own education. So like I found a lot of interesting resources, and then I was looking up questions like, can you arrest someone off duty? Like, does the police officer have to be on duty to arrest someone? The answer is no. Or they can arrest off duty. A lot of researching. I also signed up for a Citizens Police Academy. I don't know. I think it would be fun just to learn and ask all my questions and possibly get put on more lists. You know how I be. I do feel like I've made some progress today, which I've not felt that way in a while, so that's good. I am gonna go for another bike swim situation today. And I really need to like figure out what I'm doing. I just really want this book to be good and make sense. And I'm at this point where I'm questioning everything, and I think it's good that I'm questioning everything, but I'm also questioning that I'm questioning everything. You know, like, so it's just, once I get all of this clear, it's just like, I don't know. It's just overwhelming because of a lot of reasons. Every book is overwhelming to write at a certain point, and this is the point of this book that's overwhelming. And probably there will be more. But I know it's in good shape, and I know it's like, I can feel the potential of how good it can be and how much it can make sense, and how there are so many good pieces here. I just want to make sure that they all fit well. And I know I'm being so vague about what that means. I want this book to feel good and make sense, but also mislead you and twist you and make you feel things. Like I just want it to be good, and I feel the potential of it to be so good if it can make sense. And I think that it does. But I think also because I'm in this questioning state, then I have trouble like making concrete decisions about things, because I worry that the decision I make about something will be the wrong decision and won't make sense. And so then I make a hesitant decision, and so then it's not set in stone in my mind, and so then I can't like let it go. For example, I'm trying to think of an example that will not give away like the entire spoiler of the book. Oh, this is what it was. I was trying to figure out like kind of the main motivation for the book. I was trying to figure out if my two main characters knew each other before the start of the book. And there were like pros and cons to both. The pros, if they like, it would be nice if they knew each other, because it would make a couple things a little bit easier in terms of like the baddie's motivation would make more sense if the two main characters knew each other before. It also could add a little bit of like assistance with moving their relationship along a little bit more if she has this preconceived notion of him and he has this preconceived notion of her. Like, I like certain things about that, but then also it would be a lot of changes to the first scene if they'd know each other before. And also it raises some more questions if they know each other before. And I like the way that they like encounter each other in the first scene right now. And so because there are pros and cons to both, and because either way I have to like make changes that might impact other things, like I can't like land on a decision, or I do like in my head, I decided earlier that they do know each other before. But like that's still not solid in my head because I'm still questioning if that's the right decision. Then I feel like I can't like make other decisions based on that being true. You know, like I feel so scattered with it, with like specifically with the plot. I just need to trust that I can do it, but I don't know if I can. And then this rejection makes me doubt that I can, which is funny because that's not even what the rejection said. It's just like, you know, I just am back to rambling about things that don't make sense to you. So I'm just gonna try to make more concrete decisions with the knowledge that I can change them later, but I can just make a decision now and move things around to make it make sense. But it still just moves slow because every decision I make, I have to analyze from 6 different perspectives to make sure it makes sense for everybody. Yeah, that's where we're at. That is my spiral for the day. Well, one of them. Also, my hair's getting like so long. I also read Binding 13, and Taming 13, and then Saving 6 and Saving 6 and the other one. It gives like Colleen Hoover, but young adult, but also is it young adult? It's very like, ooh, little tiny girl, but she's 16, she's 17, new girl in school, she's got a troubled past, and he's the rugby player, and he's huge and gorgeous and cares about her, but nobody's ever cared about her before, and she has troubled home life, like a really troubled home life, and he is just worried about her, and he wants to keep her safe and protect her, but she has to protect everybody else in her life. Obsessed. So I did like read that whole 2 books last night, so that's also what's happening. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Hey, good morning. It's Friday, end of the week, which this week has felt so weird. I'm trying to kind of end more positively this week. Not going super well, but I can't figure out, I have 2 minutes, 3 minutes before the stream starts, and I want to figure out what I'm gonna do during the sprint. My instinct is to like make a list of all the things I need to do before, like today. That sounds like not a good idea because then I'll just want to do those things and not actually write. I just feel overwhelmed because I have to, like, my house is a mess. I think the triathlon training is, I'm gonna blame it on that. I think it's actually hitting me harder than usual because I've done a ridiculous amount of training this week already. It's like taking a lot of time and my sleep schedule's been everywhere. Let me continue to complain.
Voiceover Alyssa here for the last time this video. What I ended up deciding to do, since I never actually told you, was I'm diving into taking all of the revisions that I already know exist and putting them into the chapter that they belong. So I made the list of all the chapters and started putting in a good number of the changes into what I would do in each chapter. And there's a lot more that I can do than I thought. Oh, look, she's cleaning. Okay. Well, you're just going to watch her clean. This is like those TikTok videos where people tell you about horrible murders that happened while they clean their house. That's the energy. So, yeah. So I started doing that. I did not ever finish the board this week. But I think I did some of the things that I had not planned to do until this next week. So I think I'm still on track. Obviously, as I've mentioned 800 times in this video, that rejection is stinging. But actually now, this is Sunday. This is like right before you were seeing this. LOL, down to the wire. Now I'm in a much better place with the revising. Like I'm trusting myself a little more. This is me unboxing a little package. And then I also got another one of those whiteboards to put on my wall. And so I think in a second, there she is. She's going to put it up. But yeah, so now I can do the second half on that second panel, but I think things are moving along. Thank you so much for sticking around for this absorbently long, that's not a word, but this long video. If you've made it this far, comment a clock emoji, and make sure to check out my 6 a.m. live sprints if you want to write with me. Thank you so much for being with me as I process this week. Bye.